So get ready for me to try some books that you all liked. Hi everyone, it's Kelly of Coffee Stars Books, and today I'll be bringing you the very controversial but very fun to film popular books that I didn't like. So again, I guess if you're watching this you know that I'm going to be talking about some books that some people in the book community really enjoyed, and it's kind of one of those things that, again, it's been really nice on my blog hearing people say, oh, I didn't like that book either, and it's quite nice to have that sense of not being alone in that, I guess. So I thought I'd bring it across to BookTube and talk about some books that other people might have really enjoyed but I wasn't really that into. And yeah, I guess this is, like I said, a personal opinion kind of thing, so I hope no one feels as though I'm attacking their opinions or saying that they're books that you shouldn't enjoy, because that's not what I'm saying. Yeah, please don't hate on me. So the first book is probably the most controversial in this list, and it was Shadow Me by Tahara Mafi. I know there are so many people who really love this book, and I got hold of an ebook of it a few months ago on NetGalley, I think because they were re-releasing in time for Restore Me, and I've always wanted to read this book. This is a brilliant opportunity, yes, I should jump on this. And then I just hated it, to be honest. I didn't like anything about this book, and I know there are some people who are really into it. Yeah, I've seen all of the videos for Restore Me recently, but from the opening pages, I just knew it wasn't going to be for me. I hated the fact that it opened in an asylum, for instance, and I don't have anything against books which deal with mental health issues. I find it's actually really good when books do, and they're well researched, but I think there's a bit of a trope about young adult books set in asylums, and I could see the trope coming from a mile away, and I just wasn't impressed by it. I also thought there was a lot of exposition in the book. There were lines. It was slightly forgivable because the character had spent all of her life in an asylum, so I guess she didn't really understand the world around her. But there were instances where it was just really badly written. Like, there was a line which was like, oh, he didn't speak for 30 seconds, then he did. And I'm like, cool. What was the point of that? Like, really, what was the point in that? I didn't enjoy it at all. And yeah, there was a load of exposition, there was a load of info dumping on the world, which, like I said, she can kind of get away with because the main character hasn't been in the world for the longest time, but it was still kind of sinful. And then, yeah, there's just a load of coincidences, I can't say that word, coincidences in that book that I really wasn't sold on. I just found them really unbelievable, and yeah, they're coincidences which sometimes make up a huge part of the plot, and nothing was good about it for me. There were so many cliches as well, like I said, the whole opening in an asylum thing, and then there was a character who has this super special thing that no one else can do, and there was a love triangle going on. There was some really problematic behaviour going on in that love triangle, not only from the bad guy, but from like the main love interest too. And I won't get too much into it because this isn't a review video, but sorry guys, I'm not a fan, and I feel really bad about that because I've heard that she's a wonderful author, and I've heard that she's written some things that people really love, and I wouldn't be against checking out some of her other books in the near future, just not these ones. No. Yeah, so the second book on this list is also quite controversial, I guess, just because I know that the author was really popular with her first book, and that is From Twinkle with Love by Sanjay Menon. It's a fairly recent release, and I went into this one with really high expectations when I got hold of an e-arc because, you know, I'd really loved When Dimple Met Rishi, and I thought he was really funny and really cute, and it kind of got involved in some quite big issues in our culture, and I thought that one was really well done, but I really didn't like this book. Like I said, I went into it with really high expectations because of how much I enjoyed her first book, and I thought, oh, there's this like character who really loves filmmaking, this is going to be really awesome. And it wasn't. For me it was fairly predictable. I knew everything that was coming the entire time. I did quite a lot of eye rolling during it, and it's not because I was expecting it to have like loads of plot twists and things. I know it wasn't that kind of book, but it was still something of a disappointment for me. And my main issue with the book was the main character. So she starts out being really sweet and really funny and really cute and quite like, you know, not entirely sure about herself, and I really enjoyed that because I could see quite a lot of myself in that. I could quite understand the character, and then somewhere down the line she completely changed for me. She became really different, really rude, really mean, really self-absorbed, and it didn't seem right to me. I didn't really understand what was going on with it, and I wasn't really there for that. And it just sort of let me down in the end. I didn't hate it, but I really didn't like it either. So yeah, I think, unfortunately, it also makes the list. The third book on this list is The Dazzling Heights by Catherine McGee, and I feel a little bad including this one on the list because I read this book, which is the second in the series, before I read the first one, so that obviously coloured my opinions of it a little bit. But essentially I just thought that there wasn't any world building. Like, I didn't really understand where a lot of the scenes were taking place. There were moments where it's like there is nothing to ground this. This is like a blank wall, kind of blank canvas thing going on, and I have no idea of where it's going or where these people are in like position with one another. And I was a bit disappointed about that because I thought it was a really interesting concept for a book and that it could have done some really interesting things with it. But then, yeah, there was just, I don't really know what was going on with it. I didn't really know where it was most of the time. And then the characters really weren't very well developed either. And again, maybe there was a lot of that went on in the first book that I wasn't aware of because I haven't read it. I don't plan on reading it after this book really, which sounds really bad, but I just can't bring myself to do that. And yeah, I thought the characters were all really mean and I didn't like any of them. There were none of them that I was like, oh, I really want this person to do well. They're all just really awful to each other, like genuinely so bad. And there's just nothing going on with it that I liked really, which again is bad that there's not really a book with any like saving graces to it. And I like the fact that the characters all had secrets and they were like manipulating each other and they were blackmailing each other, but like I said, there wasn't a single character who I actually liked. Even the people that I think we were meant to be rooting for did some pretty terrible stuff that meant I just wasn't there for them anymore. And I ended up giving this book like 3 out of 10 stars because there was nothing in it for me. And the last book on this list is probably no surprise to anyone. Again, I am counting this book because I know there's some people who really enjoyed it. I just don't like any of her books that I've read, and I think she's one of those authors that I'm just gonna have to like give up on because I don't think I'm ever gonna enjoy reading her books. I've tried like 3 or 4 of them now, and I think I'm just over it. Like, I just have to accept that she's not gonna be an author whose books I enjoy, and that is The Fates Divide by Veronica Roth. I got a hold of a copy of this because it was signed at Waterstones and I was like, cool, I've not got a signed book by her. I'm probably never going to go to one of her signings. This is quite a cool thing to do. And then I remembered after pre-ordering it that I wasn't a big fan of the first book, Carve the Mark. There's some quite big controversies about that book. I won't go into any detail about it because I'm kind of bored talking about it with people now. I had a discussion about this last night at a party I was at when we started talking about books, and I'm like, I can't be bothered anymore. But I will leave a link below if anyone's really interested in this like book gossip, book scandal, whatever you want to call it, like whatever. But yeah, I'm calling it the second book because I've picked the second book because I think that's the one that I hated the most out of the two of them. But it was just really bad world building. Like, there was nothing again to kind of ground you in the world, and it has so much potential and things. I was like, this could be really cool, but it really isn't. And then yeah, there were so many things about it. Like, there were so many character names and place names and things from the very beginning, and it's not necessarily the author's fault, but like the last book came out a year and a half ago or so, and it's kind of long enough that I don't remember anything about it really, apart from like the two main characters. And it would have been nice to have a refresher instead of being hurled into a really big dramatic scene. And yeah, because of that, because I never quite caught up to what was going on really, I just found myself not caring, like, at all. I didn't care if the characters lived or died. I didn't really know what was going plot wise, so I didn't really care about that. And I found everything about it really dumb. And yeah, I had to slog through this book. There were so many times when I wanted to put it down, when there was just like too much info dumping going on, and I was like, I don't care. Stop telling me these things, actually start showing me them. And I had like my boyfriend at one point reading pieces of it out to me because I couldn't actually deal with looking at that book for a second longer than I had to. And the only reason I actually finished it at all was because I had paid for this book and I was running out of things to read, and I was like, surely it must get better at some point. And it did not. It did not get better. I really should have given up. And yeah, I think I'm gonna unhaul this book at some point soon, even though it's signed, because I really didn't enjoy it. But I feel like it could go to someone who actually did, and you know, that's cool. But I think I'm just gonna give up on Veronica Ross books from now on. I've tried Cut the Mark, I've tried The Fates Defy, I tried Divergent, and I don't like anything that I've read by her. And yeah, I'm done. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you have any opinions of the books that I've talked about here, if you want to agree or disagree, whatever, like, that's cool. Let me know in the comments section. I'm really interested to hear what some of you thought about these things. If you enjoyed this video, you can press subscribe, that would be really awesome, or you can check out some of the reviews and things that I post on my blog. I'll leave the link down below. Yeah, you can hit like the bell. I don't really know what it does. I think it alerts you if I am gonna produce a new video. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So see you guys. Goodbye. Happy weekend.